Now, what's going on? Listen, I know some of y'all have been put in this position of starting a podcast, right? Some of y'all have been approached about joining podcast networks. Now, you may think that a podcast network is going to help you blow your podcast up, right? Some of y'all do. And it could possibly, but you have to take into consideration that because you're thinking that it could get you more downloads, more opportunities, and more money, that's the premonition that some folk want you to understand, some folk want you to believe. Now, some people might get upset behind this. I don't care. You have to understand this. We are here to help you. I'm here to help you with your show. But again, podcast networks want you to think that they can get you more downloads, get you more opportunities, and get you more money. It's like a pyramid scheme. That's what they want you to think. Here's what nobody's really telling you. See, most of these podcast networks, and after doing some research, I'm not here to throw names out there. It's not what I'm going to do. I'm going off of my experience when I first started. So I'm not throwing no names out there. So I don't want nobody to get upset saying I'm throwing shots at them. I'm not. But most of them are designed to make them money, not you. And if you're truly, truly not careful, you could be giving away all of your best assets for pennies on the dollar while they're building their empire. And guess what? It's off of your hard work, off of your blood, sweat, and tears, off of your content. So you know how we do. We're going to pull the curtain back on 5 things you need to know before you even think about signing with a podcast network. And trust me, thing number 3 is going to make you rethink every thought that you've had about these networks. Let's get it.
Welcome to Podcast for Profit, the show where podcasters become CEOs. I'm your host, Tony Porter, and every week I'm giving you the strategy, systems, and game you need to grow your audience, monetize your message, and build a 7-figure podcast business. No fluff, no cap, just real results. Let's get into it.
Yo, what's good? What is good? Welcome to the revamped version, formerly known as the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. Welcome to the Podcast for Profits, the show where we turn your voice into a vehicle for impact and income. Now, you know who I am. Ain't nothing changed, just the name. I'm your host, Mr. Anthony Porter, and if you are new here, welcome to the family. See, we don't do fluff. We don't do theory. We talk about real strategies that most solopreneurs, coaches, content creators, business owners are using right now to build their business that pay them while they are fast asleep. Now, today is one of those days where today we're going to talk about one of those things. First of all, if you've been rocking with me for a minute, you already know what time it is. If you're new, this is what we do. We're going to talk about podcast networks today. And I get it. The idea sounds so sexy. The idea sounds like the hit thing to do. Somebody else is handling your ads, your sponsorship, your tech. It's the done-for-you situation, right? You just show up and talk. Sounds like the dream. Sounds like the good old American dream that certain folk have been pushing the propaganda for the last 1.5, 2 years. This has been going on for a while. I'm talking about the dream that can turn into a nightmare really quick. So whether you're thinking about joining this network of podcasters, or you've already signed a deal, or you're just trying to figure out how to scale your show, you're in the right place, because this episode is definitely for you. I just need you to sit back and open your ears. Tune in, because by the time we're done, by the time we're finished, you're going to know exactly what to look for to avoid the pitfalls, how to protect your brand, how to monetize and get your own bread while you grow. So grab you some water, because this episode is only brought to you by none other than Podcast for Profits, the revamped, rebranded podcast show that teaches you how to take a new podcast or revamp your old one and turn it into a money-generating system while you're sleeping. Now, I got something free for you at the end of the episode. Be on the lookout. All right? We're giving you the client-generating podcast blueprint for free. It's worth about $197. We're giving it to you for free. So with that being said, tap in, stick around, get all the information you can get, and then figure out how you want to change your lifestyle. Because once I implemented it, my lifestyle changed. You can see I changed from the Solopreneur Chronicles to the Podcast for Profits. Now, let's talk about the first thing that comes to mind when we're talking about most networks. Because see, most networks don't care about you or your audience. They only care about one thing, and that's their own audience. So if we start with the hard truth, most podcasters are signing you because they love your content. That's not the case. They are signing you because they need your inventory. They need shows to sell ads against. All right. See, they need your audience to pad their numbers so they can, just be like, go to the advertisers and have paperwork to show them, hey, we got 10 million downloads across the network in 1 month. See, they want to take your metrics, your stats, everything you're creating, and walk into these corporate offices and present it to them and say, here's what we got going on. All along, your stuff, your content is being pushed out, but your name is not attached. Your brand is not attached. See, here's the kicker. Your listeners, all right? Your listeners, they might only represent, 50,000 of those downloads. So when the network goes and gets that $1 million sponsorship, that $100,000 sponsorship, a deal, guess how much of that you see? You might see a micro fraction. So can you imagine having 50K downloads on your show and you out of $100K? Let's say you're doing a deal for $100K, right? Of that $100K, you might get $5,000 and go pocket the rest. Can you imagine that? They're going to pocket the rest of that. Now, I'm not saying all of the networks are trash. I'm not saying that. There are some shady ones. And listen, even in the industry of music, there are shady business dealings that go on. I was just watching a video the other day where they was talking about record companies, why not to sign to a rapper. See, they already got the ins and out of how they got done, so then they want to just make it look like they're going to do something different. I don't want to throw salt on nobody's name, but if you go back and you search that video, that particular video has one individual who's already in trouble right now. He signed the girl he claimed to love to a 10-year deal where he got everything. She couldn't make a deal, nothing, 10 years. If you do your research, you'll find out that Lil Wayne was in a deal where he finally got out of the deal. And it just so happens that the only reason why he got out was because his label and the other label that he was under, the connection was both on one distributor. And it was going to hurt them if this album, which Wayne was putting out, was never going to hit the surface unless they stepped in. They realized they was losing money because this album wasn't out. So they stepped in and squashed it. All right? That's how these podcast networks do. If you the hottest thing and you sign a 5 or 7 year deal, you're stuck. Technically, you're stuck. And again, I'm not saying all of these networks are trash. I'm saying you got to do your homework. I'm not telling you not to sign with a network. What I'm saying is I'm giving you the ins and outs, what you need to look for, not what you need to look for, things you need to look for. So you got to ask, does this network understand my audience? Do they have a relationship with brands that actually align with what I'm building? See, them are the rough questions you got to ask, them hard questions. Because see, if they're just slapping a mattress ad and a meal kit sponsor on your show about entrepreneurship and mindset, you're not serving your people right. You're just selling to them. You can't be here. You can't be here in your show talking about financial literacy and they're talking about Postic-Pedic mattresses. That ain't doing you no good. All right. So you got to understand, you got to do your research. Check out who they sponsors are before you go and dabble with them. I guarantee you're going to figure out, oh man, I don't know about this one. But this is the game that nobody is offering to anyone. So you got to have people out there that will serve it up to you. Because see, I know podcasters who have signed mid-tier network 2-year deals, and the deal looked great, sounded great, looked immaculate on paperwork. They promised them ad revenue. They promised them exposure. They could promise them cross-promotion. Within 6 months, their show was getting ads for things audiences didn't care about. The engagement dropped. The reviews started saying, this doesn't feel authentic anymore. And when she looked at the contract, she was, this one particular podcast was tapped in for 3 years. So don't be that person. All right. You can't be that person. You got to be able to understand what you're looking at. As you start to grow, because I know most podcasters are new to the game. They don't have an attorney. They don't have things that people need to look for. They don't have it. All right. But before you sign anything, ask to see their advertising roster. The people who advertise, look at their roster. And then ask them, how do they match sponsors to shows? Ask them how much creative control you get to keep. This your baby. You have to ask those questions. If they can't answer, the questions clearly, get up, walk away. All right. Now, here's another thing. This is thing number 2 that you don't know about these networks. You're signing away more than you think. So let's talk about that, because I know you sound like a bad. No, it's the game that needs to be given. All right. See, most podcasters don't realize until it's too late. When you sign with the network, you're not giving them the right to sell ads on your show. You are giving them. You are often giving them ownership, or at least shared ownership. And that's the one thing we as individuals need to understand. Don't just jump in all willy-nilly and sign. This is your content, your IP. Sometimes it's your brand. You do not want to just give up everything. You want to make sure you have some creative control. You getting some of this revenue. As they grow, you should be growing. Man, you got to be serious about this. Read the contract. See, in the music industry, they call it 360 deals. They haven't given it a name for podcasting yet, but you have to be serious about understanding what it is. All right. See, some networks have clauses that say they own the rights to your episodes. That means if you leave, you can't take your catalog with you. You can't repurpose anything. You can't even sell it. It's theirs. So can you imagine you being on this network for 3 years? You done made, let's say you make 50 episodes a year. You done made 150 episodes. All right. 150. We're not talking bonus content. We're talking serious episodes that's tapping into your audience. You can't take that. It's gone. That's theirs. Start from scratch, start over. Other networks might require you to use their branding, their intro music, their production style. Now, it might sound kind of minute and kind of small. It might sound like I'm nitpicking, but think about it. If your listeners know you from your vibe, your energy, and your authenticity, hello, now you got to water it down to fit someone else's mode. You can't just do that, man. You become faceless. Remember, you got to think, if you start out and your show's about you, it's like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He got his own style. When they remade the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it still had the same authenticity, just different actors. All right. Now, can you imagine if they made the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and they took and put somebody else in there that wasn't a genetic match to the first Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Can you imagine Doogie Howser not being who Doogie Howser was? Can you imagine that? That's what happens when you sign to these networks. So when I first started building my podcast, I got approached by a network. They came at me with big promises. But what a lot of folk don't understand is me and my homeboy had a record label, record album we put out. We was rappers. We been there. We heard it all before. We was young. We was hanging out with some of the top list performers from back in the day. They was like, yeah, we gonna get you on these platforms. We're gonna handle your distro. We even help you get tapped in with some sponsors. And it sounded amazing. What I just said right there is not about the podcast network. This was back when we was in our early 20s, mid to late 20s. This is what the guy told us. And it's the same thing that they saying now. See, what they told me and my homeboy back in the day, man, we got the bus. We headed to Nashville to perform for the Summerfest. It's a rock out. They gonna have all the major labels down there. We gonna work some deals out. Here's where we wasn't smart. We had to put some money up to get the bus to get down there. So he comes through. I got the bread. Yeah, we give him the bread early in the week. Homeboy bounce out, takes another group down there with our bread. Now, lo and behold, we handled it, but nobody got hurt. Yeah, nobody got hurt. But we didn't read the fine print. So you got to be able to read your contracts no matter what. Don't just jump in and start signing stuff, because see, what they did is they buried my situation and the group situation. And even when I started my own podcast, they buried it on certain pages. Like with my podcast, when they approached me, with this network approached me, they buried it in page 11 in this contract. It said the exclusive rights to my content for 5 years. 5 freaking years. That's 200 some odd. No, that's more. No, that's 250. That's 200 and some odd episodes. That if I leave, I can't take that with me. It's theirs. That meant I couldn't sell my own courses, couldn't use the clips for my episodes. That meant I was stuck. I couldn't even repurpose. I couldn't expose myself. I couldn't do none of that. I couldn't repurpose none of my content. I couldn't draw no attention to me. I couldn't do none of that, man. The shorts, the reels, all of that gone. I couldn't even, and here's the crazy part. I couldn't even go and start another show because I was locked in with them for another 5 years. I didn't sign. Mama didn't raise no fool. Or should I say granddaddy didn't raise no fool. Nah, I'm good. And that decision saved me. I'm able to do my content the way I want to, distribute the way I want to, and talk how I want to. Your content's your asset, man. Don't give it up. Don't throw it away. Not for no check, especially for a check you ain't gonna see. And here's how sleek it was. They was offering upfront bread. If you're gonna partner with a network, make sure the deal leaves you in control of what you create. In the music industry, think of Taylor Swift. Masters brought back. Chance the Rapper. Never signed with a label. Never signed with the label. Your masters, your content, it's all you got in this industry. So you want to keep it. That's your blueprint. That's your legacy. You don't want to be sitting out here all willy-nilly and you ain't got nothing to show for it. You feel me? Now, once again, you want to take your game to the next level, you're going to click the link below. Grab the podcast worksheet. Please do it. Grab it. It's free. $97 worth of value. All tucked into a nice little PDF for you. And you just check it and do it. All right. Let's move forward. The third thing, podcast networks make money by serving everyone, which makes you invincible to your ideal clients. I've been preaching for the last year. Don't serve everyone. Don't be for everybody because you will become invincible. Niche it down. Serve certain people. Like right now, Podcast for Profits is here to serve service providers and content creators who are looking to escape that inconsistent 5-figure to get to the 6 or 7-figure 10K month, man. That's what they're trying to do. Podcast networks are in business to scale. They want as many shows, as many listeners, as many ad dollars as possible. That's their motto, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that because everybody's trying to make $1. But here's the problem, and this is a big problem for you. When your part of the network serves everyone, true crime, comedy, business, wellness, sports, pop culture, you become just another show in a crowded field. You're just another show in a crowded feed. You're just another show in a crowded room. Your ideal client, the person who needs your offer the most, they don't even know you exist. They can't find you because your network is not built to position you as the go-to expert. They're built to position themselves as the go-to network. Now, if I could ask you this, what would you rather be, the big fish in a small pond or a big whale in your own ocean? See, I had to flip that. I didn't want to get copyright infringement because and shout out to Russell Brunson because Russell Brunson made this quote way better. Would you want to be a blue fish in a blue pond or a red fish in a blue pond? See, when you try to serve everyone, you become that invincible person. The people act that to those who actually matter. See, this is just not true for podcast networks. It's true for business. It's true for content. It's true for offers. You can't be trying to serve everyone. I'm working for podcasters and podcasters only. That's it. That's it. See, we try to serve everyone again, you become invincible. If you're a business coach talking to entrepreneurs, you're going to get lost in the noise. But if you say help burnt out corporate escapees build 6-figure, all right, 6-figure coaching businesses in 12 months without paid ads, then you got somebody's attention. So I've seen that. I've seen that particular situation play out more than once. Same thing with podcasts. If you join a network that is for everyone, your show becomes generic. But if you stay independent or you partner with a network that only serves your niche, then you're the authority figure. You become the authority figure, and that's what you need. Your voice is for the voice. Your job is to be the voice of the people in your niche, right? And see, when you start becoming the voice for the people in your niche, if you're doing an audio podcast, they remember your voice. If you're doing a video podcast, they remember your face. And those are the type of things that you have to be able to use with that. See, to get crystal clear on who you serve, it's not solopreneurs. It's not, for me, it's not content creators. Who specifically? What's their pain? What's their goal? What keeps them up at night? It's they want more downloads. Others, they want to get away from the inconsistent 5 figures and get to 6-figure rolling. That's how this thing works. So that's the game. That's what you need to know. All right. So thing number 4. This is one of the lies that they take, because see, the real money isn't in ad revenue. It's in what you sell. All right. It's in what you sell. And if we're going to talk money, we got to be smart about it. Let's talk a little bit of money, because by the end of the day, and I kid you not, by the end of the day, that's what we are here for, right? We want our podcast to be profitable. We want to turn our content into cash flow. You don't want to just be sitting over here on the wall with a podcast that ain't making no bread. It takes time, but you have to be smart about it when you are doing your podcast. All right. Ad revenue is cool. Sponsorship is cool. But unless you have hundreds and thousands of downloads per episode, you're not making life-changing money. So let's break this down. Here's the average cost per 1,000 downloads for podcast in like $18 to $25. Okay. That's it. If your episode gets 5,000 downloads, and I'm spitballing because I'm reading it. If your episode gets 5,000 downloads and you run ads, you make maybe $200 or $300. That's it. And if you're in a network and they're taking a cut, so now you're down maybe $100 to $150. Half. That's not business, fam. That's a side hustle. We don't do side hustles. But you know what is a business? Selling your own offers, coaching, courses, memberships, mindsets, masterminds, high-ticket services. That's where the money's at, okay? But you have to be smart. You can't be salesy and you can't be a scam artist. You just can't. And the beauty of it is you don't need a network to do all of that. You need a podcast that builds the trust positions, that positions you as an expert, and then it drives those positioned people to your funnel. So stop thinking your podcast as a place to sell ads. Stop thinking of it as the top of your funnel. Every episode should educate, inspire, and invite people to take the next step with you, period. Now, number 3 was the one to make you think. The last thing we're going to talk about, the last piece of this puzzle, is you don't need a network. You need a system. So you don't need a podcast network. What you need is a system, a framework that turns content into clients, your episodes into income, and your voice into a business. Most people, they just sit back, they relaxing, they chilling. They think they need a network because they don't have the infrastructure. They don't know how to sell ads. They don't know how to pitch to sponsors. They don't know how to grow their audience or monetize their show. Trust me, been there. But thanks to my fellow mentor, David Sands, I learned a lot. But these things, these skills that we're discussing right now, they're learnable. And once you learn them, you don't need to give them away for 30%, 40%, or 50% of the revenue to the middleman. Now, imagine you launch the podcast. Every episode delivers massive value to your audience. And at the end of each episode, you invite them to download a free training, join your email list, or book a discovery call. You nurture them with emails. All right. Now, one thing we're going to talk about is this, and I've been a stickler to this. The money is in the list. And that was coined by Russell Brunson. All right. Now, you sell them into your offer. You build a business that you own that pays you and then gives you the freedom to show up however you want. That's your goal, right? That's the main goal. And that's what we're going to do. It's not complicated. You just need the right blueprint. And guess what? Your boy got the blueprint to help you get started. It's free. Everybody loves something free. People say, it's free, there's a catch. Here's the catch. It's free. All right. Now, I'm not sitting here. I know you're thinking, okay, I get it. I don't need a network, but how do I actually build a system? How do I turn my podcast into a client generating machine? It's simple, man. Grab the client generating podcast blueprint for free. Just grab it. That's what you got to do. Grab it. It's a structure. Of your episode. Craft the proper CTA, how to build the funnel that works. And it's completely free. Did I say that? Did I mention that? Did I say it was completely free? Oh, by the way, it's completely free. And if you're serious about making your podcast pay you, that's the next step. Grab the free toy. All right. So here's reality. You can keep spinning your wheels, trying to figure it out on your own. That's fine. You can keep posting episode after episode, hoping something sticks. Or you can grab the blueprint to understand exactly how to position yourself as an authority figure and take your content and make it your own blueprint cash creating machine. And that's it. That's how it works. It's for, you ask who it's for. One of the frequently asked questions is, who is this for? It's for coaches. It's for content creators. It's for consultants. See, every podcast, every business, every consultant, every coach, every content creator, they need a podcast because you can teach others how to be you or in the realm of you. How they can 5X their client base, how they can 5X their business models, how they can 5X their income. You build a community. Think about this. TikTok came out years ago. The TikTok community is crazy, but they have communities inside of TikTok. Twitter, which is now X, is the same way. Instagram, YouTube has its own community. Build you a community, okay? Build you a community. So here's what I need you to do. Click the link, get you the client generating podcast blueprint. It's free, no fluff, no pitch fest, none of that. Just click that, all right? It's the exact framework. You need to turn your podcast into profit. Don't sleep on it. Your voice is an asset. You control your destiny. You can turn your voice into income, all right? So just do what you need to do. Click the link below. And I'm going to see y'all in the next episode. Until then, stay focused, stay profitable, and keep building. We out of here. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Podcast for Profit. If you got value today, share this episode with a creator who's ready to level up. And make sure you hit follow so you never miss the moves we're making. If you're serious about turning your podcast into a business, tap the link in the show notes to join the Solo Empire Network and get the tools, coaching, and community you need. I'll see you in the next episode. Keep going, keep growing, and remember,